You can always go to Barnyard Buffet to get some collard greens. Our friend JJ is back with us. JJ, great to see you as always.
Good to see you. I'll bring them to you. How about that?
How about that? All right, so that's what we're working on today. Before we get to all that, tell our viewers once again all about Barnyard Buffet.
Good morning. Yeah, we're in Saraland. We're family owned for 17 years now. We got a home style buffet. We got a salad bar, ice cream fountain, a lot of weekly specials. You can check all that out on barnyardbuffetsaraland.com. But I went ahead here and I sliced up 3 slices of bacon. So I've got a cold pan I'm going to start with.
Sure.
And I'm going to go ahead and put it on like a medium-low heat.
So what I like about collard greens is when you mix bacon and sausage into them.
The pork fat is
The
essential.
pork fat.
Low and slow cooking and a bunch of pork fat that really soaks into the greens.
That's what makes it that have that goodness that you come in.
That's
to
the
know and
home.
love.
Yeah, that's the difference for sure. So I've got a half a link of Kaneka rope sausage here. It's already pre-cooked, but we're going to brown it a little bit in this pan. I cut it in half long ways, and then I'm going to do like a 1/4 inch little crescents.
Now, is this something that you can always have at Barnyard Buffet, or is this something that's only on the menu every now and then?
We do collard greens every Sunday, actually.
Every Sunday.
On the church day, we do a whole Thanksgiving feast spread with ham, turkey, dressing, collard greens, sweet potato casserole.
Wow.
All that good stuff. On top of like mac and cheese and mashed potatoes and fried chicken like we usually do.
That's awesome. So this is a great recipe too. So of course you can always go and get it at Barnyard Buffet. But if you watch closely and want to try to emulate this, you could do this as a Thanksgiving side dish, correct?
Absolutely. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what you're going to do?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Tips from JJ here on Studio 10. So what's going on at Barnyard Buffet lately? Just good times, keeping it rolling?
We actually just started a new game day special. So on
Okay.
Saturdays now, all day long, we're doing ribs, wings, and shrimp. We also have catfish and all the fried chicken and stuff. But you can, if you want to watch the game at home, you can come get a carry-out plate. And we do them by the pound.
That's a great idea.
7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Yes, sir.
So you can go there and get it on game day, or if you want to pick up that food and not mess with all the stress of cooking and preparing and getting everything ready, Barnyard Buffet has you covered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's a lot of fun, and November is picking up steam for football. We've got the high school playoffs. We have college games winding down. The SEC gauntlet is in full swing as we lead up to the last week of the season with all the matchups like the Iron Bowl and all that going on. Good stuff.
We have specials on Sunday too. The Packers are killing me, man. Killing me.
The Packers are a sad story so far this year. We're maybe there's some hope, but it sure doesn't feel like it right now. You got to try to stay optimistic.
Feels pretty far away.
Feels pretty far away. Yeah. All right. Well, so you're working on some onions there. When we come back, what are we going to do in our next segment?
So yeah, there's a little bit of a method to this that I'm going to have to skip for TV purposes.
Okay.
You're starting with a cold pan. You're going to heat that bacon up until it renders. When it starts to just maybe get a little bit of brown, and you can tell as the fat's melting, it's getting a little oily.
Yeah.
Throw the sausage in for a couple of minutes. Mix it up really well so it cooks evenly. Brown that sausage, brown the bacon. Once they get brown, we're going to add 2 onions sliced up into 1/4 inch slivers, plus a little bit of minced garlic and some butter.
I could just eat that as is.
Right.
That sounds like a good combination as is, but we're going to continue to add to it, including those collard greens with Barnyard Buffet in Saraland. You don't want to miss that as we move throughout the show. Chelsea.
Welcome back to Studio 10. We are with my good friend JJ with Barnyard Buffet in Saraland. If you're just now joining us, you are in for a treat. Now, I know it's only November 1st, but Thanksgiving dinner is already on my mind, and this is a great recipe for that.
Coming up. You're not full on candy?
I know, not yet. I want to be full on collard greens.
We're going to fix that in just a minute. So I had to skip ahead a little bit. I went ahead and browned all that meat and onions. I transferred it to a pot. The secret, you've got to keep all the pork fat, the grease, the butter, all that stuff. You need it in your broth to slow cook with your greens. So I cut the heat off. We're gonna go ahead and add. I also went ahead and added 3 tablespoons of chicken base, and don't just use canned broth or whatever. Like make your own with this better than bouillon stuff. It's so much better.
Okay. I need to remember that. Now this is just water, right?
This is 10 cups of water. It's supposed to be like for every 4 cups you do a tablespoon.
Yeah.
I do 10 cups and 3 tablespoons, so it's really thick. That thick chicken flavor is great with the greens.
Yeah. Now how long does this need to sit in there for?
Once we get it boiling here, we're gonna crank it all the way up, get it boiling on full boil, add the greens, and then we're gonna turn it down. I'll show you in a little bit, and let it simmer for a couple hours. So I wanna go ahead and add my spices before I add my greens though. You definitely want some sugar. Last night, I made a pretty good batch. I did 7 tablespoons of sugar.
Yeah.
3.
On top of all the candy? Your
And pizza.
secret is safe. Your secret is safe with me. You
I
guys.
have kids, so I eat like a kid, you know?
Well, and your kids are younger too. You tell me you have like a 5-year-old and an 8-month-old.
Yeah.
The 8-month-old, the babies get all the candy, right? But they can't eat the candy, so it's up to mom and dad to do it.
Right. They just leave it in a big pile in the middle of the living room for the dog and the parents to eat.
There you go. Not sure it's good for the dog, but it is good for the soul for the parents
No,
for
but
sure.
ours always manages to get some, and she's all right so
She's
far.
okay. Okay, good. Hope she's having a good day today.
So I did 7 tablespoons of sugar, 4 tablespoons of salt. I'm going to do 1.5 tablespoons of black pepper.
Yeah.
And then 1/2 tablespoon of cayenne to give it some kick.
Ooh, a little bit of heat. Now we're going to show you too, in the last segment, you also brought some cornbread, and you like your cornbread to be a little spicy, so you made it more of a
Yeah.
Mexican style, which
Yeah, it's
goes good with
jalapeno
this.
cornbread with some onions, some sweet corn, and some jalapenos mixed up in it.
that's some good
It's the
stuff.
Jiffy recipe with
Yeah.
all that, but it's
Jiffy's
yeah,
good too.
it's the
you know?
best.
That's my husband's favorite too. So we're gonna let this boil here for a second
Yeah.
while we're getting this on.
I'm gonna. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna turn it up to high heat and
Yeah.
just get it boiling for the next
For a little
segment.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to talk about Barnyard for folks who want to come
Absolutely.
see you today.
Yes, ma'am. So we got named the #1 buffet in Alabama this year by iHeartRadio, so it's really been helping our business. We do have healthy options like a salad bar, some baked chicken, not just meatloaf and
collard greens.
fried pork chops. Yeah, collard greens. We got a breakfast buffet on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 10:30. Friday night is steak night. I told you about the game day specials on Saturday, and then the Thanksgiving feast every Sunday.
Ooh, so getting you prepared for your own Thanksgiving feast, you can celebrate every Sunday before that and after that with Barnyard Buffet. They're located right there in the heart of Saraland. You can't miss them, so you got to go see them. When we come back, we're just going to let these get ready, and then we're going to eat it with some cornbread. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. We got to have cornbread
Ooh,
with it.
excited about that. That's heading your way on Studio 10. Jennifer.
Time to plate up these Southern-style collard greens we've been working on with JJ from Barnyard Buffet. JJ, great to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
All right, let's plate these bad boys up.
All right, so before I had added all our spices and turned the juice up to a boil, I went ahead, you add 2 bags of these fresh, clean collard greens. They're 1 pound each. You get them at any grocery store. Crank the heat up, let it come to a boil, and then turn it down, put the lid on, and let it slow simmer for a good 2 hours. And then you're gonna get something that looks a little like this.
There it is.
They really darken a lot, yeah.
And if this is catching your eye, if you're getting hungry watching this, if this looks good to you, which I'm sure it does, you can find this on Sundays, correct, at Barnyard Buffet?
Yes, sir. We've got collard greens every Sunday, but we also have turnip greens the other 6 days of the week.
Oh, okay. All right. So good to know there. You also talked about some new things you're doing on Saturdays in conjunction with game day.
Yeah, we've got new specials like wings and ribs and shrimp on Saturday for game day. You can check out all the specials at our website, barnyardbuffetsaraland.com.
All right. That all sounds great. This might be a little bit hot, but I'm
what you
gonna
think.
I'm gonna try a real small amount here due to the heat. Oh yeah.
Yeah?
So good. So much flavor in there.
Yeah.
You were talking about the most important thing is that rendering of all the pork fat with the bacon and the sauces. You can definitely taste that in this.
The pork fat is important. You can actually see in the broth, you can see a lot of little bubbles. It's all pork fat, chicken broth, the really good stuff. And letting it slow cook for 2 hours, it soaks all that up in the greens. It doesn't taste anything like a leaf.
No, it absolutely does not. This is delicious, y'all. Check out Barnyard Buffet in Saraland. So many great options for you to try, from the savoriest things that are down-home Southern cooking to some healthy options as well. As we mentioned, you're going to find something for everyone, which is why it's a great place for all your friends and family to go check out. JJ, great job as always.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you to Buffalo Rock.
Yep. All right, Chelsea.